following program is intended for mature audiences.
Cogliano has it again, back to the point. Long shot tipped in! The Ducks have won it in overtime!
Weiss scores! Dale Weiss with a dagger to the heart of Ottawa's playoff hopes.
For Tarasenko, he breaks free to the backhand, he scores!
Oh my, the same move he used at Madison Square Garden back in November. He does it again against Dubnyk. It is a 5-1 lead.
Wilson down the board. Ribeiro to Wilson. Turns to score! Here's Fisher. Two goals in 12 seconds.
They're onside. Here's Johnson again out in front. They score! Andre Palat. Tampa Bay has tied it. Edmonton Johnson. Kucherov Johnson scores! Tyler Johnson wins it in overtime.
Moves out to the front. Send it across. Ricochet off skate. Backhander. Score! The Rangers score in overtime.
You're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
Follow us on Twitter at Basically Sports.
Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes.
And download every episode and more at basicallyasportshow.com.
Now here's your hosts, Zach,
Greg,
Mike.
And you're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
God, soccer, really?
Soccer jerseys, Greg.
Even better.
No, this is something that it's not just jerseys, Greg. It's about the fabric of America.
Nike has assaulted the fabric of your country.
Have they? Really?
No, literally. This isn't a joke. I'm really mad about this. Greg, Did you know the flag, it's not red, white, and blue. It's black, white, and Volt.
Cool. I was hoping we'd change that.
Nike is dressing the women's U.S. national soccer team in uniforms that are black, white, and Volt.
The thing that pissed me off was the statement that Nike made about it.
Was it Nike speak?
It was Nike speak, but not like Nike speak in a way that was like actually, anti-American almost.
Charlie Brooks, Nike's vice president of North America Communications, defended the company's decision to go with the style. Quote,
this is bullshit.
Quote, not every team plays homage to the flag, he said. Take Germany's kit, for example. World champions. The German flag is yellow, red, and black. The kit is white with black trim on it. I understand people asking about the colors, but there's also a level of not all national teams have to represent the flag. Brooke Lynn explained that Nike wanted the uniforms to paint inspiration for the team itself, something crisp, stylish, sharp, and impactful, like the team itself. But when people see a team dressed in black, yellowish, green, and aqua, they wonder, what country is that?
See, that's another problem I want to get to in a second. That you should know what team you're looking at. The uniform should make you say, oh, man, who's that? Mm-hmm. You should know.
Well, I'm going to play devil's advocate for just a second here, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do all World Cup teams represent with their flag colors? Because he mentions Germany does not. I thought I saw somebody mention the Netherlands do not.
These teams have very specific reasons for why they wear those colors.
The Netherlands wears orange because of the House of Orange.
Right.
The royal family is literally named orange.
I remember that now. We talked about this back when we did the World Cup thing.
Italy wears blue because of the House of Savoy, which was like the original royal group
family
of Italy. Okay. And their color is blue. Germany, they've always had the same thing. They're white jerseys with black trim, and the away jerseys are green for West Germany.
And for Germany's, black and white are the colors of Prussia, which was the main German state that unified Germany. And the green is actually in homage to Ireland because the Irish national team was the first national team to agree to play independent West Germany after World War II. So... yeah, not every country's uniforms represent their flag, but those that don't, they're for very good reasons.
I agree, then. I think this is bullshit.
This is what makes me pissed off at Nike, and why this is a problem that the U.S. national team has always had. They have no identity. If you look around the soccer world, You see a team playing in sky blue and white stripes.
Argentina.
You're looking at Argentina. You see a team with a yellow jersey and blue shorts. You're playing Brazil, and you know it. You know exactly who you're looking at because they have an identity and a centralized thought process of what they want to be as a soccer team.
The U.S. national team actually had a very solid chance to establish an identity.
And especially now that we're in this point where the U.S. is starting to be half decent at soccer and you're trying to cement yourself into the international soccer world, if you're constantly looking different, people are going to say, what country is that? And not in the good way that Nike thinks it is. That's complete and utter bullshit. Because the United States national teams, at every level in every sport, no matter what the hell it is red, white, and blue. But the fact is, too, in women's soccer, the United States is the premier women's soccer team in the world. They should have tradition, and they should represent this country, not Team Swoosh.
Well, see, my thing is that Nike has shown clearly that they have absolutely no respect for tradition in anything, period. Their reasoning for it's complete and utter nonsense because, like you guys said, the teams that do vary away from their flag colors have very specific reasons for doing so.
There's just like a level of arrogance in it that's enraging because it's like, oh, well, the Netherlands wears orange. Yes, because the royal house of the Netherlands is actually named orange. So by that implication, are you saying that Nike is American royalty? Is that the implication that they're going with here? When you look for the reasons why a lot of teams do deviate from their flag colors, it's usually because of a royal house being associated with a different color. Nike's like, oh, well, we are to the United States what the House of Orange is to the Netherlands. It's like, no, Nike,
and
you are not.
This isn't Nike rebranding an NFL team. This isn't a school or a brand or a new shoe. This is the United States of America. And call it whatever you want, blind patriotism or Americaness or whatever the hell.
No, it's not that. I agree
stuff
with
like
you.
This it's disrespectful.
It really is. I think that people are going to automatically react to it as, the typical America rules, blah, blah, blah bullshit, but that's not really what's going on here.
We're not asking for a giant star and a bald eagle on the front of it. We're asking for it to be red, white, and blue.
I mean, I liked Cosmic's idea in the thread, actually. They should really go all out and have the crest be a Volt Eagle with wings made of Nike swooshes.
If you look through the thread, somebody made a quick Photoshop of changing all the black trim to blue and then changing the socks to red.
Right.
If you want to be all Nike and do your thing, but do it that way, yeah, we'd all say, God damn it, Nike, your stupid faded socks look like they stepped in puddles of blood. But,
if they had the red faded socks, they could even Nike speak that. Like, the red represents passion of America, fading away to the purity of victory or some nonsense like that. I mean, they could still be Nike and actually respect the country whose uniforms they are working on.
What's the reaction been outside of our twisted little community with this? I mean, overall.
The fact that a PR guy had to come out and defend it says that it's probably not super great.
I think as a uniform on its own, I don't think it's that terrible, but to represent the United States national team, I really think we probably should have stuck with our red, white, and blue.
If this was just a third jersey or something for like a friendly or some obscure international competition, sure. But this is also the World Cup. This is the soccer event. Even if it is the Women's World Cup, it's still the World Cup. And you're going to go in with white and black and Volt?
It's just such a defiant arrogance by Nike is what I get from this. Just like, we can do whatever the fuck we want, and we're going to.
And they also say, oh, well, the players are stoked, and they're excited for the uniforms. And this is my favorite thing, because they don't use the context in which she said it. But Abby Wambach, she called them stunning. So you don't get it, it's like, oh, those are stunning. It's like, oh, it's stunning.
I did not expect that.
Oh, these are so unexpected. Well, yeah.
But it's just so typically Nike.
It's kind of one of those things where you're like, Nike has shown again, like, they don't respect NFL tradition. They don't respect NCAA tradition. You kind of think it's like, okay, there's no way that they're actually going to put this nonsense forward for a national team. They've got to at least, if only because they have a sense of shame, respect the tradition of the identity of the United States national team. Nope.
Yeah, there's a difference between defiling the tradition of the 2.0 Cleveland Browns and defiling the tradition of the United States.
Hey, I'll have you know, Tim Couch's legacy deserves to be properly venerated.
Right, we got to keep those orange jerseys with the drop shadows from the when they were Alderness.
These aren't drop shadows. These are rise shadows.
Oh yeah, but you know what this kind of this is. I'm going to try to make an analogy here that I hope makes sense. You know how ESPN's gotten to the point where ESPN's all about ESPN.
They make the news that they then report on.
I think that Nike has reached a point where they're completely tone deaf.
The other thing with that is, like, I think Nike is so focused on trying to push forward and innovation and design and whatever that they go and do this crap because they feel the need that, you know, we can't just keep making the same red, white, and blue uniform. We've already done what we can do with red, white, and blue because it's traditional. So now we're going to try to make something cool and funky.
But did it have to be Volt? I mean, really? Did it have to be?
I mean, the socks could have been white, the socks could have just been white, been a head-to-toe white kit, and that'd be less egregious to an extent, but it'd still not be red, white, blue.
Your job, Nike, your job is to provide the uniforms, not innovate where no one asks you to innovate. It's the old quote from Jurassic Park, Ian Malcolm. You're so preoccupied with whether or not you could, you didn't stop to think about whether or not you should.
You know, I always tell you guys that no matter what the Clippers do, they will always and forever be the Clippers. And this is just another thing to add into that file in my desk. The new Clippers logo.
I love that they've gone with the Price is Right look on the LAC thing. That's awesome.
It looks like an @ sign from far away.
I thought Madden myself.
When I saw the first one where it was the LA inside the big C with next to the number, I literally thought it was an @ symbol, like @23, like a Twitter handle.
Maybe that's the idea. Seriously.
The C, by the way, and of course, the big C around LA does not stand for Clippers. No, the big C is around it to say City of Los Angeles.
Why?
It's the City of Los Angeles Clippers.
Are they going to go with that name?
No, but
they really should. That would be awesome.
That's the reasoning behind it, so they can differentiate themselves from the big Los Angeles Lakers. They're trying to make it seem like
I would think the 17 championship banners pretty much makes that distinction, but that's just me.
I think they're trying to reason that the LA and Lakers is Los Angeles County, trying to pull a weird Angels sort of vibe, like we're Anaheim, part of a larger Los Angeles, but we're Los Angeles, part of a larger Los Angeles. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it doesn't have to because it's the damn Clippers.
Wow.
The term clip art gets thrown around a lot, sometimes unjustifiably, but I think it fits here because everything seems so disconnected in this primary logo. You've got the LAC basketball emblem, then you've got the Clippers text in pretty generic-looking font, and then you've got these random banners everywhere. Nothing looks like it was designed together. It looks like they're all disparate pieces that were then just sort of arranged.
I see the LAC. Zach sees an @ sign. I see the Price is Right, the font they use.
No, the Price is Right is definitely in there, too.
They're the Clippers.
So when they unveil these, they're going to do the Price is Right horn, right?
What I find hilarious is that everybody had been saying that the Clippers needed a new logo. They needed a logo that wasn't like the Lakers. And then they finally have one.
Well, and the thing is, too, like, I understand that basketball logos, for whatever reason, are devoid of actually representing what the team name is. But with Clippers, you have so much potential.
Hell, just use the old San Diego Clippers logo. That's all you really need.
You have a giant ship. You could make a logo that actually looks like a ship, for God's sakes, and use it. And you can do it in Los Angeles because guess what? LA's on the water. There was a point in time where Clipper ships frequented Los Angeles. Use the damn ship.
This is so great.
It is. It's so glorious because the Clippers' highest point in their franchise history right now, truthfully. Probably the highest they're ever gonna get because it's these sort of things that will always make them the Clippers. You can change the owner, you can change the general manager, you can cycle out the players, but there will always and forever be the stink of Clippers all over them.
These are just so Clippers. They're just so great.
Zach mentioned changing the owner, Steve Ballmer, who now owns the team. These do look like they were made in Microsoft Word.
You've got
Why not just put the little make the little paperclip guy your new logo? Why not?
His name is Clippy.
Right, exactly.
Why is there not a giant paperclip running around Staples? Staples! There's a paperclip L in the Staples logo. What are you doing, Clippers? You have so much opportunity here for marketing synergy.
And what's really interesting is that the Clippers, I guess, soon to be former identity, actually had a decent looking LAC logo. I mean, it didn't blow anyone away, but, it worked.
This team has not looked good since they left Buffalo.
Okay. I do love the Buffalo Braves uniforms.
Yeah. Those were great. And weren't they? They were the Carolina blue and white.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they even had the old black and orange deal, if I remember right.
They did, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, either one of those. But yeah, they have not. Ever since they became the first San Diego and then LA Clippers, they have never ever looked good. And they're further away than they've ever been at this point.
I really, really hope that they remain absolutely tone deaf to the criticism and they just go whole hog going forward. I want these to come out. I'm getting Madden vibes. I'm getting clip art vibes, Price is Right vibes, and nothing is adding up to anything positive.
But think about the possibilities of team introductions if you go the Price is Right route. You play the theme song. Blake Griffin, come on down. Starting at forward, number 32, Blake Griffin, come on down. Oh, my God, it would be glorious. I think that would be the best thing ever.
First, we got to talk about the first team to clinch the second round. I'll have you know.
The Anaheim Ducks doing the big heel turn. I'm surprised by this. I am.
I don't know why we're heels.
I don't either. I don't get it. I
understood we're going against plucky little Winnipeg, and, we're the big bad people going to ruin everyone's happy story.
We're the puppy killers, the kitten killers.
But people are taking it to a place that I didn't think that they were going to take it to.
It's whatever.
The funniest thing to me is there was some new poster that's a Kings fan in there. It's like, you don't have to deal with Ducks fans every single day. The only thing I want to say was, have you looked at a mirror?
Well, that's what I want to get to. Do we want to keep talking about who hates whom here, or would we like to move on to?
No,
let's move on.
I have. Okay, first question. Did Devin Dubnyk turn into a pumpkin last night?
No, I think it was one bad game.
Okay, I'm just curious because
if he does it again, then I'll say pumpkin. But for now, it's one bad game.
I missed the early game. I actually missed all the other games. I missed the first period of the two late games yesterday. I was driving back from Toronto. But when I was driving back from Toronto, I was like, well, I want to keep up to date with the scores, so I opened my TSN app on my phone. And I just sit on my dashboard.
TSN doesn't have hockey anymore.
And I kind of just glanced over to it.
Where's your Sportsnet app?
Sportsnet can go jump off a cliff because...
Again, pay homage to your corporate overlords in Rogers, Mike.
I will pay homage to my corporate overlords in Rogers as soon as they fire Strombo. Okay?
Strombo.
Oh, come on.
Fire Strombo, and I will embrace the Rogers corporate overlords.
What if Strombo invites you to sit in the red chairs with him?
I would sit there looking very angry at him for the extent of the interview.
You would be fast friends after that, I promise you. You'd be like, Strombo's not so bad. He's an all right guy.
No, I have a feeling he wears really bad cologne. And
you can bet on that.
You would, I'd just be irritated smelling it, being that close to him.
Shit probably melts the paint off the walls when he's sitting there.
So I was glancing over at my phone every now and then on the drive back, and through most of the first period, I was looking at Winnipeg Anaheim. It's like 0-0-0-0. Right next to it, the box right next to it is St. Louis, Minnesota, 1-0 Blues. Oh, well, that was quick. 2-0 Blues. Oh, I guess they scored again. It's 3-0. I guess this is one of those games. And then I come back. I get back in time for the second period of the Jets Ducks game, and they keep interrupting it in 5-minute intervals. They're like, another goal in the other game. Like, holy crap.
Yeah, he got lit up pretty good last night.
What happened? Because the game before this, the Blues in the previous game played like hot garbage.
And then the game before they played decent, And in game 1, they played like hot garbage.
See, I can't decide if the Blues finally pulled it together last night or if that was more of the aberration than the norm. You know what I mean? Because last night, I mean, they looked really, really good. But other than that, they haven't looked so good the whole series. So I don't know what to think of these guys yet. I can't decide.
As I said last week, the St. Louis Blues have been San Jose Sharking long before there were San Jose Sharks. So they're going to have to win a first round in the playoffs before I get on board. I still think Minnesota's going to win this. I still think the fact that, as Zach pointed out, this team has been underwhelming for the majority of the series. So they're going to have to do more than just have one good game.
Well, I'm going to make, my basically a football show. Everybody's fully aware of my irrational confidence. And the Blues have been for like the last 3 years now my irrational confidence team.
Well, how has that worked out for the Titans?
Well, that's what I mean. It's like I get suckered in every single time. And it's happening to me again. I'm like going, hey, you know what? Maybe this is the year. Maybe this is just
team. Is it just teams that wear double blue, Greg? Is that all that it is?
Well, because my other irrational confidence thing is Darcy Kemper, who I'm just convinced is an elite goalie. He just hasn't had his chance yet.
Darcy Kemper came in and didn't play half bad.
But yeah, it's like the Blues are and for years, since we've been doing this show, they're my irrational confidence team. I look at them and I go, track record not so great, but this is the year. This is the year they're finally going to break through and get it done. So that's where I'm at with this. I still think that they're going to break through and get it done. They won't. They're going to lose in 6, but I'm just explaining my logic behind it. Mm-hmm. So, but I don't know. I just, we talked about it during our playoff preview that Dubnyk was going to turn into a pumpkin at some point, and I just thought, well, maybe last night was it. But you usually don't turn into a pumpkin like that quick.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, it's kind of like more of a slow, like decline downhill.
If he has another bad game, then you pull him. And I guess you got to play Darcy Kemper. But
yes.
The team I want to talk about, though, is Detroit, because holy crap.
Yeah.
I still don't have a read on how that series is right now.
Well,
because
Detroit
won. They won game 1. Detroit won game 1, but they were outshot 46-14.
And they won.
And they won 3-2.
Yep.
That makes zero sense.
After game 2, I thought I knew what the series was, because I was like, okay, the Lightning have this in hand. Game 1 was just a weird thing.
Mm-hmm. Right. You see the dominance in game 1, but they lost. You say, okay. And then they go into game 2 and they dominate. You're like, okay, just a weird game 1. They're the far and away the better team. And then they go and get shut out by Peter freaking Mrazek.
They come home
Detroit.
They get blanked in Detroit. Yeah.
I have no read on it. Like, I don't know what's supposed to, I know what's supposed to be happening. I just don't know what is happening.
You know what? I've been joking all year that the Red Wings are going to win the Cup, but I don't think they're actually going to. But you know what? I think they win this series. I do. I think they're going to win this series.
I mean, they have the upper hand now, and it's going to take a little bit for the Lightning to get back into it, and maybe start doubting themselves.
And the Lightning's coach, I don't know what it is. Like, I've been watching hockey a long time. I've seen a lot of coaches give post-game press conferences after losses. John Cooper came off like the whiniest of whiny bitches after that after losing game 3.
Well, when he was at Ohio State, he could never beat Michigan, so I could see that it's going to be a problem for the Lightning too.
He's just a bit shell-shocked when it comes to teams from Michigan. No, not again.
But I don't know. I just, this Red Wings team just scares me just a little bit. I don't know.
I don't think they have enough talent to run
I don't either.
The Lightning, and the Lightning have been very dominant this season, but for as dominant as they have been, this team has had glaring flaws. They've looked weak on defense at points. They've had trouble holding on to the lead. If Detroit can just maximize their potential, if every player on that team has the best series possible, I think they could squeak one by Tampa.
Maximize their potential, like score 3 times on 14 shots.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. I mean, you don't get much better than that, really. I didn't see very many people picking Tampa to win the Cup. But
I picked them to win the Cup.
I saw a lot of people with the consensus.
Or not win the Cup, make the Cup final.
But I saw a lot of people go, and this was an analysis I agreed with, that this isn't going to be their year, but they're going to be dangerous. And they really haven't looked all that dangerous.
I mean, I have not watched either team much at all, but just based on just what I see and hear, I would think that Tampa Bay should be dominating this series.
They should,
talent-wise.
yes.
Yeah. And if anything, worst case scenario, I think that it should be at least like the Rangers-Penguins series where, you think the Rangers are going to dominate. They haven't, but they're still up 3-1. Mm-hmm. And it has, I don't know. Detroit's just got this thing where I joked about it all year, but all of a sudden, I think they win this series. I think they make a little run.
Well, in the second
Red
round,
Wings.
They're going to play the Montreal Canadiens in the second round, barring a miraculous Senators comeback.
Just given how the Senators' season has gone, wouldn't it just be perfect if the Senators came back?
No, I'm kind of tired of the Senators.
The only series I called as a sweep, and I damn near had it, and then the Senators had to go and ruin it for me.
Yeah, I know. The Ducks were the only first sweep of the first round. I was pretty surprised by that. But,
speaking of your Ducks, how long are you guys going to be able to walk this high wire?
They in Game 4, they obviously didn't have to do that.
No, but the other three they did.
They were pretty good. Yeah, I know. In the first 3 they had to. They only led for 11 minutes in total in the first 3 games, and they were leading 3-0. I think that now that they've kind of gotten those kinks worked out, they're going to start games better and play more complete games. I mean, that's just my feeling. I obviously don't know. I can't predict it. But the other thing is, they can, though. They feel that they can go out and win any game, no matter what the circumstance. And that's a powerful thing.
My only concern with that, with the High Wire Act and the comebacks and all that stuff, is that's all well and good when you're either playing like, okay, one night you've got, let's say, the Panthers, the next night you're playing, I don't know, Ottawa, then you go to St. Louis. You know what I mean? But to do that, and these series, as they progress, are going to get tougher, you would think. I just don't know that I'm comfortable having to count on that in a 7-game series as we get deeper into the playoffs here.
I wouldn't want to count on it every game. But the fact of the matter is they won the games. Right? I think I said it after Game 3 on Twitter. I don't know how this team keeps doing it, nor do I particularly care. I just want the W's. And if they can keep doing what they've done, I have no complaints about it, really.
Another way to look at it, though, is that Winnipeg, the last seed in the West,
yes,
very easily could have taken a 3-1 series lead.
But they didn't.
No, they didn't. But my point is, though, that if that almost happens against the number 8 seed in the West, well, last seed, we don't have 8s anymore, but that's my point. Can they get away with that against, say, Chicago?
My thoughts exactly. And I'm not trying to take anything away. I'm not trying to hang a cloud of doom over your team or anything.
No, I know what you mean.
But I just don't know. Again, it's one thing when, Winnipeg played valiantly and all that, but you could just tell they just weren't as talented as the Ducks watching that series. And you knew that even if they got to win, it was inevitable they were going to lose the series. As you get deeper into it, I don't know that Chicago lets you do that 3 nights in a row is what I'm saying.
Right. No, I know what you're saying. But I think that if they were to get to the point where they play Chicago in the conference final, then they'll be on a roll kind of thing.
Right.
They'll have themselves sorted out, and I think they'll be okay if they can get to that point. They may lose, but I don't think it will be because of that. And again, even if all the games with Chicago were close, seeing what they've been able to do, and I had said it all season too, and people got down on me for thinking that way, of course. But if they continued to play the way they did, they're going to be in trouble in the playoffs because you can't expect to do this all the time.
Exactly.
Well, they got to the playoffs, and guess what? They were in similar situations, and they still came out on top
against Winnipeg. So, and again, I'm not knocking Winnipeg.
I understand that. I understand. But they did it all year against a variety of teams. So, and really, it's more about the belief that they can win all these games, and I have no reason to doubt them anymore.
Okay, well, we'll see. Well, they're going to – who do they have the winner of?
They got probably Calgary.
Yeah.
Probably Calgary.
That series will be interesting, if not just for the Ducks trying to work their way through all of Western Canada on the way to a championship. But Vancouver's not going to come back in that series.
No, they're not. But I'm just saying
they're turning to Ryan Miller now. So unless he,
Speaking of irrational confidence.
Right.
Yeah, what happened to him? Well, the fact that they were even starting. Yeah,
he got injured at some point, and Eddie Lack went on a run, and so when Miller came back, they weren't going to just sit Lack down.
I understand that, but as someone who had Eddie Lack on his fantasy team last season, I could have told them that he was not a long-term solution.
Well, I think they knew that too, but when a goalie starts playing well, what are you going to do? Tell him no?
Well, speaking of that, the Blackhawks went with, what's his name, Scott Darling, right?
They finally went with him after Crawford got blitzed in Game 2. And now the Blackhawks are up 3-1.
Like we predicted.
But you know what? We said after Game 1 that Nashville was done, and they came back in Game 2 and were impressive. And both the games in Chicago, despite not having Shea Weber or Mike Fisher, were very tight games. The triple overtime game.
No,
Nashville could very well have come back to Chicago tied 2-2, but, Chicago won the games, and so now Nashville's probably still done. But I got to give credit to the Preds for fighting through it.
I'm not going to give credit to the Preds because that whole it's time for the Blackhawks to eat our biscuits. Oh, and here's a placemat for how to play hockey. Screw them and screw their fans.
Well, I think the other thing we didn't talk about, you saw the signs that the Tennessean provided at the games too.
Yeah.
For the fans.
No, what were they?
They handed out signs. One side said
let's
like
go Preds. So it was it was basically, it just said let's go Preds with the logo on it.
Yeah, it said let's go Preds. And then on the back side of it, it had a diagram of an ice rink with the rules of the game explaining offsides and icing and things of that nature.
Do they think that no one showed up for any of the 41 home games before the playoffs?
The things that the Tennessean has done to demean the people of Nashville, in terms of the food critic thing and this, I would ban the Tennessean from coming to the game.
But see, here's the thing though. It's an all-around clusterfuck. The Tennessean's doing this crap, but then the team does the national anthem and God, Country, and Apple Pie. So it's just this, it's this clusterfuck from all sides. And
I really feel bad for the Predators fans. The actual hardcore Predators fans that have to deal with this nonsense.
That's my point. I watched them play the Blue Jackets back during the regular season at some point. There were people in the building in Nashville that were at this game. It's not like they played to an empty arena 41 times. In the playoffs game, they went, hey, people might show up. We better tell them what's going on. Well, it's ridiculous.
If you're going to bring up playoffs, I mean, it's not like this is the Preds' first time in the playoffs either. They've been I don't want to say regular fixture, but at least a somewhat regular fixture in the postseason the last couple of years. So, I do think, you probably don't need to explain how the game works, but between the team itself doing the whole them commie Blackhawk fans hating God and country, and the Tennessean going, it's time for them to eat our Southern fried biscuits. I don't know what to make of this thing. It's
this is why you guys kind of poke fun at the Southern fans, but this is the kind of crap that we have to deal with. And this is why we have to band together sometimes. Because people think that we're idiots and don't know what the hell we're talking about.
But
we're just as good of a hockey fan as anybody else.
I understand I'm not
people want to do this.
We're not talking about their fans. We're talking about the stupid newspaper, which honestly...
That's what I mean.
Honestly...
I'm saying...
People treat them like we're stupid.
I'm not pulling this crap out of my ass. This isn't unprovoked. I mean... When the ownership group does this, when one of the major newspapers in the area does this, what do you expect the reaction to be? I mean, God.
It's the result of not having anybody cover the team all damn season.
That's part of it, too.
You have no presence there. I mean, I don't know if they actually sent an intern or some kid that they hired for $25 a game to go out and cover the Predators on a nightly basis.
Are winning games, it's we have to cover them now, don't we?
If you have no presence there and you're not covering this team at all, really, when they make the playoffs, you assume everybody's like you, hey, wait a minute, we should probably take a look at this and figure out what's going on. Completely oblivious to the fact that there were people in that building 41 nights before the playoffs ever started. It's absurd. And if anybody needs to be embarrassed, it's not the Nashville fans. I think they've been fine. I think they should be a little embarrassed for going along with it. I mean, if anybody, I don't know, they can't help what's printed on the other side of a
what are they going
to
do? Burn all the things?
But the ones that
every newspaper in town and set it on fire.
What the spotlight really needs to be pointed at here is the Tennessean for being just so completely oblivious and out of touch to a major sports franchise right in the middle of their own damn city. It should be embarrassing to them and no one else.
There are only 2 pro sports teams in Nashville.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'd say in that area, college football is probably more or less a pro sport in terms of scope and popularity.
Yeah, Tennessee sucked for a while.
Anyway, back to the series.
Right.
So it's tonight's
Chicago. This is game 5. Nashville may win it in some last gasp of desperation, but there's no way the Preds come back out of Chicago if they go back.
No. You know what? I don't know. Again, my irrational confidence, especially this is a Tennessee team, so of course I'm going to be all in on them.
Right. They drink the same water the Titans drink.
I don't know if that's a good thing, though.
No, I think Chicago. I think Chicago closes it out tonight. I'm going to stick with my original prediction of Hawks in 5.
Chicago's just too talented.
Yeah.
Maybe
championship pedigree.
Right.
Maybe Nashville wins tonight, but this doesn't go further than 6.
Yeah, if they were playing anybody, like let's say if they were playing the Wild or in particular the Blues in this situation, I'd say they pick up game 5 tonight. They might have a shot at winning the series, but the Blackhawks, they're not going to blow this. I think they close it out tonight. Let's move along.
So, Ducks sweep. Calgary up 3-1. We think they're going to close it out quick.
Yeah.
Chicago up 3-1. We think they're going to close it out quick.
Right.
And Minnesota, St. Louis?
Got no faith in the Blues. I think the Wild finish the deal. It depends. I think the Wild probably still win the series. As much as
you know what?
I still got faith in the Wild.
You know what? I'm actually going to go back on that. I'm going to pick the Blues right now because with Dubnik's performance last night, I think it's not unreasonable to say that the Wild have goaltending issues. If the Blues can just focus, I think they can steal this.
We have not talked at all about Caps Isles.
Caps Isles has been fantastic.
It has. I just don't like where this, okay. Either the Capitals win this series and the last playoff series in Nassau goes out, a failure. Or, even worse, the Islanders win and the Rangers close out Nassau Coliseum.
You know what, though? Those games between the Isles and Rangers all season were barn burners.
Yeah,
they were.
A playoff series between those two would be absolutely incredible.
7 games of that?
Oh, it'd be great.
But could you imagine from a Islanders fan's perspective what that would be like having Nassau Coliseum closed out by the Rangers of all teams?
Yeah, they would hate it.
Provided the Rangers win the series.
I want the Isles to win. I think I picked the Capitals, but I'd love the Isles to keep their run going.
I have a question on the Capitals.
Huh.
Why is it that their home jersey looks so great in those commercials that they do, but I don't like them on the ice? Because, when you see it in the commercial, that's a sharp jersey, and then you see it on TV, and you're like, ugh.
In the commercial, Nicholas Backstrom is somehow playing in an ice rink that only has one light on.
Well, they should do that all the time, because they look much better that way.
Yeah, play in the dark, you'll look good. It was an interesting decision by them to wear the retros on the road.
Yeah, that was cool. I like that.
I think it was awesome because it gave it a little pizzazz, but usually teams only pick an alternate when they're eventually going to switch to that or something close to it.
I don't see what the point of switching would even be, considering that their primary logo is just...
It's the same.
It's basically the same thing, so I'm not sure what the point of even going retro would be in this case.
Well, maybe the only thing I could think of is you'd have to look and see what their record was wearing those things on the road, and maybe that's what it's all about. Who knows?
They actually wore them on the road a fair amount of times.
Well, remember they wore them against Pittsburgh in that game that we talked about. Yeah.
Also, I'm really hating both the retro and the current logos bug me because why is the hockey stick the T? The hockey stick should be the L. It should be the.
It's in the middle of the word.
But a hockey stick doesn't look like a T.
I know. Well, that's why they put a line through it.
Anyway.
San Jose has a hockey stick that's not actually a hockey stick in their logo, so what does it matter?
Same for the Barracuda.
You still rocking your Jacksonville Barracudas avatar?
No, I took it down. I put up a Rangers thing.
You got to put up the Lady Liberty. That's right.
But out of spite, I put up the Lady Liberty one because I like that alternate better than the one they have now.
I just find it funny that nobody in the San Jose Sharks organization apparently knows what a hockey stick looks like, and I think that might be their biggest problem.
They've gone through this 3 times now, 3 different versions of a hockey stick, and they still can't draw one properly. Oh, Sharks.
So
let's see.
I am rocking my Rangers warm-up jacket tonight, by the way. Just
very nice.
Yeah.
Montreal had the chance to close it out, but the Sens get a 1-0 shutout. I think that was the last gasp, right?
Gotta be.
Habs closed it down in Montreal, right?
This Canadiens team is just too talented to let this happen.
And the other series that I can't pull out of my head. Oh, we already talked about it. Red Wings and Lightning. I still got to pick the Lightning.
I don't know, man.
I'm riding my wings here.
Don't you dare jump on the back of Grover Nyquist.
Don't you wish that evil on me, Ricky Bobby? I don't know what to make of that series.
When do they play again? Are they playing tonight?
Yes, they are.
Yep.
Whoever wins tonight wins the series. Simple as that.
I could see that, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But, in
the last
terms
bit of hockey news is that I know Mike really wants to get to.
I really want to get to this because, okay.
So do I, because
God damn it.
Shots.
I want to say this, too, before we get to this. Of all the possibilities we talked about, I don't think this one ever came up once.
No, because we
already knew. We already knew as like a baseline, Edmonton getting another shot at this thing was going to just. It's soul suck. As a hockey fan, it hurts.
You know who else it hurts?
The Edmonton
Connor
Oilers are going to get another chance, and that Connor McDavid's going to be lost in the tundra for the first 5 years of his career.
Did you see his expression? It looked like he wanted to cry.
I don't blame him.
And the worst part was for you, Mike, I'm sure you're watching the thing, keeps going, nobody's picked, and then you got to the top 4. And it's the Maple Leafs and 3 other teams, and you say, damn it, we have a shot at this thing.
Well, I don't know how accurate this is. This could just be Twitter nonsense, but I heard that apparently when it came down to the final number, the Leafs had the best chance of anyone else.
And I think Edmonton had like the least possible one, too.
God damn. And it's just like, when he was, another thing with McDavid walking down that hallway, he looked like a kid who'd just been arrested and was being led to like his cell.
Well, and his cell was talking to George Stroumboulopoulos.
Yeah, of course. Where you probably have to smell his cologne the entire interview. But,
this is really one of the worst possible options. The only good options, in my mind, were Buffalo or Toronto. Or Columbus.
I'm sorry. I think Edmonton, just because this is the worst place. I mean, we're going to throw another high draft pick on the fire here and watch the whole fucking thing burn.
They've already wasted 3 highly touted prospects.
Right, exactly.
But here's the thing, though. I could be completely wrong. I think Connor McDavid is bust-proof. And I think you insert him into that lineup, it instantly makes everyone better.
You think, what's his name, Taylor Hall, is going to suddenly become Yari Curry or something?
Well, he's going to play on his wing, yeah.
All right.
He's going to get a hell of a lot more opportunities and crisp passes than he did before. And now you have Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is now your second-line center rather than your first. Mm-hmm. And maybe you bump Jordan Eberle down the line, and it fills things out. Now, they still need help on defense, and they still need a quality goaltender. But the Oilers will be better offensively next year.
They will be, but it's just, oh my God. When I saw that, I think I laughed for around 20 seconds after the Oilers got it. It was absurd.
That's all you can do. It really is absurd because this is what, 4 and 6 years?
Yep.
When I saw it, I just did this like, oh no. First off, my first thought was poor Buffalo.
They still get Jack Eichel.
I just felt bad for Buffalo because it just seemed like that was the plan.
No, my dream scenario was Maple Leafs win it, so Connor McDavid stays with a Canadian team in a big market and resurrects the Maple Leafs, and Jack Eichel goes to the Sabres and is an American hero in an American market, and then you can have McDavid-Eichel rivalry for ever.
And you could just milk that rivalry like via Tim Hortons promotions for like till the end of time.
Yeah, no, Timbits for everybody.
God,
it was a gut punch, man.
Edmonton.
I think it was a gut punch. I do. I was like, because.
Like he agrees. Connor McDavid agrees.
We discussed, I think, every damn team in, and I don't think Edmonton ever came up once.
No, because the Edmonton Oilers had already gone like 3 and 5 years by that point. I'm like the odds, like there's no way that they don't get it. Like probability doesn't work that way. But then it happened. I'm just having this image of like Connor McDavid just like shoulders sulked, like he just shows up at like the Oilers headquarters, like at like Rexall place in Edmonton. He's like, "Hi guys, I'm here."
Could he pull an Eric Lindros and just say, "You know what? I'm not going to play for Quebec"?
I think his agent has already said he's not gonna. Like he will play for the team that drafts him.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, he could.
Well, because
and really, could you imagine the haul the Oilers would get for trading him? Because you look at how Quebec did trade away Eric Lindros. And all the pieces they got, those pieces ended up being Peter Forsberg.
Yeah.
And the cornerstones to the Avalanche Stanley Cup team. As much as you would get for trading away Connor McDavid, you would probably also have to live with the fact you traded away Connor McDavid so that you could try and
generational talent.
Else. Right. And the other thing is for the Oilers, maybe this spurs them to say, okay, we cannot screw this one up this time. Like, they had some leeway before maybe, and they thought they could develop. They don't have a choice if they get Connor McDavid.
Someone to fire
the other
Kevin,
interesting
please.
thing.
Someone fire just Kevin Lowe. Fire him.
Well, here's an interesting part. Apparently, Peter Chiarelli, the fired GM of the Bruins, was talking with the Oilers the other day.
Honestly, if they bring in anyone new, they need to give him complete control over the personnel because what they've been doing so far hasn't been working. They're the Matt Millen Detroit Lions of the NHL. We'll just keep drafting forwards. That's all we need to do, right? Yeah.
The thought process is that maybe Chiarelli joins them. And the other guy that's being rumored to go to Edmonton is Todd McClellan. The Oilers have the cornerstone to a jump start. This is their last shot. If they don't do it this time, they have to get rid of everything and just scorched earth. And
that's my question. Is it a matter of like we need like coaching in front office, like better personnel, higher up, and then that okay?
And that's the other thing that I said is like you trade McDavid and maybe you can build up the back part of your hockey team and make it solid, but you're not, and you're going to be very good offensively. But can you keep the puck out of your own net is going to be a completely different question.
I mean, that's the thing. If you look at the Oilers this past season, when they've gotten offensive chances, they're not half bad. The problem is they spend most of the time in their own zone.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, and especially in a league where possession has become a very big thing.
Trying to win every game 7-6, probably not the best plan going forward.
No, this is no longer – the Oilers – including their jerseys, are all stuck in the 80s. And that
I love
breaking news out of Vancouver, guys.
Wow.
Henrik Sedin on what needs to happen offensively for the Canucks to get back into the series.
What words of wisdom does he have?
We're trying to shoot the puck past Hiller, their goalie.
That's a good start.
Thank you, John Madden.
Right, exactly.
For that.
In all seriousness, I think we need to score more than they do. That's pretty much a can't-fail philosophy.
I want to see that pregame speech and, like, you know, the Canucks coach thinks he's on the level of, like, that miracle speech. He's like, guys, we need to score more than they do.
We need to allow less than they allow. We need to beat them. Yeah.
So you guys do the thing where the puck goes by their goalie.
Right.
Okay, break.
All right, hey, Ryan, I need you to allow less goals than the other goalie. Do you have that? Steve, I need you to score more goals than their goal scorers. Do you understand?
Ladies and gentlemen, Zach's Tabs.
Zach's Tabs! Okay. The things that you at home don't hear in between takes.
Oh, the best part of the show is the part that doesn't get recorded. No question about it.
Okay. So we talked about hockey. We mentioned last week there was a team that missed the playoffs, the LA Kings. I just wanted to remind everyone that they missed the playoffs. But, you know, as any team that has an unsuccessful season needs to do, they need to have an unofficial team party in Las Vegas.
What were they
cocaine.
celebrating? What were they celebrating, just out of curiosity?
Being them. Being awesome.
Okay.
And I mentioned cocaine because the best possession team in the league got caught for possession.
Of course
Jared
they did.
Stoll.
See, the smart money was on Jeff Carter.
Yeah, Jeff Carter, he probably got in unscathed. They went to the Wet Republic pool club at the MGM Grand, and I guess when you walk in, there's a search for some reason. Probably for this reason. He got caught with cocaine and MDMA, which is known to the older generation as ecstasy, and to the younger generation as Molly.
When did they start calling it Molly?
Recently.
The kids these days. It was still ecstasy back when I was with it, so I have no idea.
I don't know. The kids today, they call it Molly.
Oh, no, that's not a bad name. I just was curious why they changed it.
So, yeah, Jarrett Stoll, pending free agent, gets caught with cocaine, probably won't be signed.
Speaking of being stuck in the 80s, geez.
Hockey players love their cocaine.
I guess.
Surprisingly.
Yeah, if you actually look at it, like, this league is coked to the fucking gills.
Yeah.
But cocaine is so, just, like I said, it's so 80s. You don't...
Yeah, but you know what? If it's like Game 4 and you need a little extra before you hit the ice, you can't do
I'm ready to go, Coach. I had my fourth line. You don't put on the fourth line. Anyway, football. The NFL schedule was released. And, of course, the NFL schedule being released is like the second coming of Christ every year.
Except better.
So, Deadspin has the headline that I fully agree with. Could football just shut the hell up for like 2 seconds? I understand that football, the NFL needs to be constantly talked about, but the NFL Network had this...
Was it like a 3-hour show or something?
Like a 3-hour extravaganza to release the schedule.
I remember 10 years ago when I was in high school, the NFL actually gave you time to miss it.
Yeah.
You get excited every year because it's like, oh, football's back.
Right.
Now,
Yeah.
God damn it.
Like Deadspin said, will you just shut the fuck up for just 5 minutes? Just give us a break.
Yep.
God.
And you have the reporters, they're all like, oh, I'm hearing that this game is going to be this game, and this one's going to be this.
What are the best games going to be this year? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
And you really don't even know. God.
Because some teams aren't done with their free agent signings. You haven't even had the mini camps. You don't know who's drafting who yet.
And you just don't know how the season's going to play out. I mean, I hate to keep picking on you guys for it, but, you know, according to you guys, last year's Saints-Bucks games were going to be barn borders.
You know, but hey, they were, though. They were important.
For the wrong reasons.
They were important football games, Mike.
You mock our ability to predict football games? Our prognosticating skills, you mock them?
Just because the Buccaneers were technically still in the playoff hunt by week 15 doesn't mean you're right.
But the other thing with football, because I mentioned the second coming of Christ, Timothy Tebow is back in our football lives.
Oh, thank goodness. I missed him so.
The Philadelphia Eagles, after a year of not even playing football, after a year of being on TV, Chip Kelly deemed it necessary to sign him as one of his 27 quarterbacks to try out this season.
God damn it!
Look at the Philadelphia quarterback roster: Sam Bradford, Mark Sanchez, Timothy Tebow, Matt Barkley, some other guy. I forget what the fourth guy's name was or fifth.
It's just funny. Most of these names are hilarious. Most of these names are hilarious. Sam Bradford. Ooh.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Mark Sanchez, Matt
Sanchez, Tebow. It's like the lost island of misfit toys.
But here's the fun part. One of them is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles quarterback.
I hope it's Tim Tebow. And just because I know, I think we all know a certain Philadelphia Eagles fan who hates Tim Tebow, and I think that would just be hilarious to watch.
Oh, that would be something.
And you know the thing is, Chip Kelly might find a way to use him, and that might mean the end of Matt Barkley's career as an NFL backup.
Oh. How did ESPN react to this news?
Oh, they ignored it, of course.
It's nice. It's nice that they didn't overreact to anything.
It wasn't an hour-long special, so it wasn't an hour-long special. So I think they're holding restraint for once.
Well, until Skip Bayless,
it was only 20 minutes.
It was only 20 minutes.
Why is ESPN so fascinated with Tim Tebow?
Because everyone else is fascinated with Tim Tebow.
I guess
it's kind of a self-feeding machine.
Yeah.
Like, people are fascinated by Tim Tebow, so ESPN reports on it, and thus people become fascinated with ESPN's obsession, so then ESPN reports on that, and then it just keeps feeding itself.
I've never seen this much excitement over a guy that's been out of the league for 2 years and wasn't that good when he was in it.
I'm not excited. I'm exhausted.
Well, I'm not talking about us.
I thought we were done.
I did too.
I was hoping with that SEC network that he'd get just this huge check to just be an analyst, just be a talking head, and then he never wants to play football again.
Well, do you think that Harpo McNown, if he came back, I don't know how long he's been out of the league, but if he came back, that he would get this kind of coverage? No, I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Oh, if only the Browns had signed Tim Tebow.
Oh, God, that'd be great, huh?
The Tim Tebow, Johnny Football, Harpo McCown football relay battle.
Yeah. Gotta love that National Football League. I've said it a million times, I'll say it again. I have such a love-hate relationship with that league. Mm-hmm. I hate it. I just hate it for shit like this. But you know what? Come September, I'll be right there with everybody else.
Yeah.
Every Sunday, I'll be sitting down. Mm-hmm. And then every Monday or Tuesday, you and I will talk about it for an hour.
Yep, and we'll be excited. It won't be like this
we'll
at all.
talk about it for 2 hours.
Yep.
You know,
And we'll have to put up with that stupid fucking Sunday Night Football song.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they got to update it every season.
Uh-huh.
You know,
waiting all day for Sunday night.
Yeah.
Nicely done, Mike.
Thank you. I miss Hank Jr. I'm just gonna say.
Yeah.
Do you know who Britt McHenry is?
I have heard the name. Oh yes, I do. Yes.
Okay, I've heard. Yeah, I've heard the name. I couldn't tell you who he is.
She.
Oh,
she is an ESPN reporter.
Okay.
Who's got suspended this week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. For
why, you might ask? Her car was getting towed.
Okay.
So she was being videotaped and decided to respond to this woman that was towing her car, saying things like, "I'm in the news, sweetheart. I will fucking sue this place. So I can be a college dropout and do the same thing. I'm on television and you're in a fucking trailer, honey. Lose some weight, baby girl."
Uh-huh. And then she also pulled the "Who am I?" or "Do you know who I am?" part
basically
too, right?
it was basically a who do you know who I am? This isn't the first instance of her being a stuck-up bitch. In March, some woman on Twitter was talking about objectification of female reporters in sports. You know, actually a good cause to fight for.
Right.
Something that Britt McHenry should probably be behind. As an attractive blonde ESPN reporter. Oh wait, that's all of them. I'm sorry, I'm not bitter that I can't get a job because I'm not blonde and beautiful.
ESPN.
You're blonde and beautiful to us, Zach, and that's all that should matter, really.
ESPN. It's what the world would look like if Hitler won the war.
So she apparently misunderstood what this woman was trying to, fight for. And then in December, she tweeted out this exchange with an MLS player. Odell Beckham Jr. turned down playing for the U.S. national soccer team for football. Example of why we'll never have European caliber soccer. So Mike McGee, who was a former
Doesn't
MLS
ESPN
player,
cover soccer?
Yes.
So don't you think they would be pissed off at one of their reporters in a public forum trashing Major League Soccer?
Yes.
Okay.
So Major League Soccer player Mike McGee tweeted back at her, "I've stumbled across some ridiculous tweets in my day, but this one stood out. Thanks for the laugh." So she responded back to him, "Well, at least you stumbled on me. Can't say the same for you."
She sounds like a winner.
The very last thing, last week, the new Star Wars trailer.
Oh, yes, it did.
Very exciting.
Yes.
And in one of the scenes for this trailer, there was a crashed Star Destroyer.
Yeah.
Just sitting in the sand of Tatooine.
Yeah.
So somebody on Craigslist decided to be a very funny guy and put up an ad for a slightly used Imperial Star Destroyer. Previously slightly owned by a navigator of a spice freighter, this vessel has been sitting on my moisture farm and needs to be removed before next year's harvest. I just haven't had the time to give this classic the attention it deserves. My loss is someone else's gain. He then breaks down all the specs. This superstructure is perfect for long road trips with the family, discovering new galaxies, picking up girls for dates, and general destruction of your enemies.
Very nice.
Yeah. First come, first served basis, you are responsible for towing.
So here's my question. We've all seen the trailer, right?
Yeah.
I think that, again, I don't know what the plot's going to be, but right now it looks pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
But my concern is that it's going to be a J.J. Abrams thing where it's going to look fantastic and the story's not going to be all that great.
I don't care because Chewbacca and Han Solo are in it.
This is true. And so is Luke. He's in it too.
So is Luke, and they fly the Millennium Falcon, and there's a Star Destroyer and lightsaber noises, and
I think the coolest part of the whole thing is that there's a Star Destroyer like embedded in the desert on Tatooine. That's pretty freaking cool to me.
Yeah.
I like that.
And then the Millennium Falcon goes and goes inside the Star Destroyer and pew, 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 pew.
And then you see Han Solo.
Yeah.
And then Han Solo, hey, Chewie.
We're home.
Yeah, you are.
I had a good time. I was like, yeah!
Yeah, it was. It looks like it's going to be fantastic, which
Like,
we
normally-
really deserve after putting up with those three pieces of shit that came before this.
Even like normally when I see a trailer that I'm excited for, I'm usually kind of like, yeah, that looks great. I've never sat through from start to finish with a trailer just jaw drop, just like it's just like oh my god, all the things.
This was awesome.
The other thing cool about Star Wars is now they're going to do those one-off like anthology films. And they announced one at the Star Wars convention here in Anaheim this last weekend. And the first one is going to be called Rogue One, and it's going to be essentially a war, like espionage film about the rebels that stole the first Death Star plans to give to Princess Leia so that they could blow up the Death Star.
So like a direct prequel to the first movie.
And it might actually be good this time. Imagine that.
Well, but it's not even really a prequel. It's kind of like a side story. It's like background information. It's like, here, you didn't know this, but this is how this happened. The thing they're going to do for all these anthology films, they're going to be somewhat themed. So like the director said, well, this is basically a war movie. It's just, in Star Wars.
Yeah.
And they're going to have, if they do like an indie comedy about, like Sarlacc or something, that'd be fun.
Or like Boba Fett and one of the other bounty hunters. It's like a buddy cop movie across the universe or something.
Yes. Like just do stuff like that. That would be awesome. Like really fun.
Yeah, the trailer looks incredible.
The thing that really got me about the trailer was that it was Luke narrating it.
Yeah.
And I don't know what, like, Luke has always been my favorite character in Star Trek, so I'm like, the fact that they've got Mark Hamill to do it.
Hey. You correct your words right now.
You said Star Trek.
Oh, Star Wars, sorry. It's all J.J. Abrams.
The burned Darth Vader helmet.
Yeah.
It looks like it's going to be really, really good. I hope the story holds up because, man, it looks just, dare I say it, but this just, like, from a visual standpoint, just blows away all the other ones, I think. Yeah.
Well, the thing that I liked about this, and one of the prequels had a lot of problems, but one of their biggest problems was that a lot of the CGI looked blatantly like CGI.
Yeah. There was too much of it, and it was too shiny and stuff. This is, like, some of the things J.J. Abrams has done to try and make it like the original ones is use, like they did in the first ones, actual models and actual things. Yes, there's CGI because that's just how movies are made now, but it looks it's grittier. It's more realistic. It's not
the CGI and the CGI we do have fits with that very classic Star Wars look. So nothing looks out of place.
One of the coolest things about Star Wars, I always thought, was that the stuff looked worn.
And that's why that's what one of the problems with the first prequels is because it was in a world before all the war, stuff that made everything gritty and dark. So everything was kind of shiny, and it just didn't look like what you thought it was supposed to look like.
Right? Yeah, but this is going to be great. I can't wait.
Also, they had an annoying kid playing Darth Vader, and that just kind of turned everyone off immediately.
And Jar Jar Binks.
And that all three movies just totally sucked ass. If you ask me,
there is one good thing to come out of the prequel series. Only one good thing in three movies: Darth Maul and his double-bladed lightsaber.
I thought Revenge of the Sith was fine.
Was that the third one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was okay. It wasn't awful, but yeah.
I just remember saying, like, when that movie came out, and I was like, God damn it, I know this movie's probably going to be pretty bad, but this is the one that everything's been building up to.
Yep.
Son of a bitch, I have to see it.
Yep. But anyways, one last quick geek show note that I just like to make personally here is that Black Widow in the new Avengers movie writing a Harley-Davidson Livewire, which is sweet. That's awesome. So there you go.
Actually, Age of Ultron comes out in 7-8 days, a week. Yeah, May 1st.
I watched the trailer yesterday, and I saw a shot of her on the motorcycle. I'm like, holy hell, she's on a Livewire, which is an all-electric Harley-Davidson motorcycle, which is really fucking cool if you ever see it in person. And I thought, well, that's cool. And then I found out Captain America's also riding a Harley, so... I
bet you Captain America, though, he's not riding an electric one. He's riding, like, a good old-fashioned...
Street 750. Yep, Street 750.
Something from the 40s, back when men were men.
That's right. He's got a man's motorcycle.
Yeah.
They should do more scenes of Captain America being kind of politically incorrect. Like, they should have, like, one where he's smoking, like, Lucky Strike cigarettes. And they're like, Captain, we know you've been frozen for, decades, but new research suggests that those give you cancer. He'd be all like, nah, that's just for sissies.
And he could go up to Nick Fury and go, hey, you're not supposed to be drinking out of that water fountain. And stuff like that. Okay.
Captain America be like, Captain America be like, look, I still respect you as a person. I'm just saying I think we should have a separate Avengers team.
Yeah.
Right, separate but equal, dude.
In retrospect, why didn't he How is he just okay with all of our modern things?
Yeah, well, it doesn't.
He's okay with women getting equal pay.
Yeah.
He's okay with Nick Fury's okay with guy with the wings.
Wings?
Huh?
From Winter Soldier. The
Falcon.
Falcon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Falcon's black.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, I could just see him the first meeting they have, and Nick Fury walks in. He's like, okay, this is funny, but where's the actual leader of this group? All right. Anyway, on that note, we got to go. I'm running behind here, and we're heading into a place that I don't know we should be headed. So
a very dark place.
Captain America's racist.
He should be.
He should be. He came from the 50s or the 40s.
Right. Exactly.
He should be racist. He should be misogynistic.
He should smoke.
He should smoke.
Okay. And on that note, follow us on Twitter at Basically Sports. Go to the website, basicallyasportshow.com, Stitcher, Spreaker, iTunes, and YouTube, and all that other good stuff. And that's all I got.
See ya.
Go Ducks.
Go Rangers.